Thank you so much for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz.
Man, entrepreneur. I mean, with it.
That's what's good. And, we're glad that you're with us. We've got, another great show lined up for you. As always, music interviews, music news, and of course, some tips in there as well. And beats by yours truly.
Oh, man, those are some beats, too. Y'all hadn't checked out our beats. Achickwitbeatz.com, y'all. So, what to do.
Yes. So, make sure you do that. And, I'm just ready to go ahead and get into it. We can go ahead and get it started. So, without any further ado, let's go.
Let's go.
We're back with music industry news. Top story, Rolling Stone has announced that they're putting out some documentaries detailing Young Thug's legal battle. And so, they want to put the story out there. One thing that kind of gave me a little bit of pause was Rolling Stone CEO Gus Winter. And he says, "We're thrilled to partner with the talented team at Jigsaw to tell this ambitious and important story about one of the most compelling and controversial music scenes of the moment. So, I mean, while it might be good to highlight this to get some conversations and stuff going, to be thrilled about it, I felt was a weird choice of words because, you know, things are actually happening, but they're just, you know, hey, I don't want to say maybe just taking advantage of the moment, but yeah, we'll see what comes of that. And let us know if you're interested in checking those documentaries out, if you're definitely going to be tuning in, or if you're like, I might sit this one out. Let us know. What you thinking, Breezy?
You said a mouthful that time, man. I don't know, man. That's going to take me a couple of seconds to come up with a comeback to that.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Oh, man.
You know, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but I know I'll dig up something in a minute.
Yeah, because you know, there's been a lot of talk going on about the whole Young Thug and Gunna situation and what might come of that, and about how rap music, you know, is kind of being held on trial, which is true. And for the most part, you know, I think what's unfair about it is that a lot of other genres have questionable lyrics, but they're never held to the same standard that, you know, people are holding hip hop and rap to. So, you know, that in itself is unfortunate. However, while we know what should be occurring and what's actually occurring is totally different. And so if you're hanging out with people or you're keeping the name like Thug or something like that, you know, you got to be careful about what you say on wax, because if it lines up with stuff that's actually happening out in the world, guess what's going to happen? At least for now. We'll see what happens, you know, once things get passed, and maybe they'll stop what's the phrase now about holding down black art or something like that, which is, you know, it's an actual issue. But yeah, it's something that while we know it's a reality, think about it, be careful. It's better to choose between that lifestyle or your music career instead of trying to do both, because we've seen time and time after, just over and over, that it doesn't work trying to do both. At least not very well with results that you hope for.
I know. I mean, over the years, we've come across so many individuals who have, oh man, I mean, it's too many to count. That that's the direction they went, and then next thing you know, foul stuff is happening and whatever, all because, you know, they're trying to be, you know, go the macho route, and see that macho route ain't always what it's cranked up to be. I mean, just last night, the impending presidential candidate, the former president, he came out with a thing last night wanting to make sure that every person dealing and so on and so forth goes straight to prison. Okay, so I mean, and prison first and ask questions second. And so that just gives you an idea of the climate that is going on. Not that would come to fruition, but I mean, there's a lot of people out there that think stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
They want to nab you first and then investigate second, and meanwhile you in the slammer with all kind of made up stuff and whatever, just because your name.
Exactly.
And that ain't worth it, man.
Exactly. Very well put. All right. Yeah. And one of those stories that we typically tend to have for you is, you know, people buying up these publishing and music catalogs. And so Jean-Michel Jarre sold his entire music publishing back catalog to BMG. And so they weren't saying how much that they actually bought his catalog for, but they said it was the biggest single deal it had ever done in France. So yeah, apparently he got a big old check. And so yeah, we've been talking about this. We've been seeing it happen a lot, and it doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon.
Wow.
Oh
well.
Yeah. Right. Warner Music adopts SoundCloud's user-centric revenue style now. So this is something that SoundCloud was one of the first to say, hey, this is actually how we should be paying artists as opposed to pro rata, which, if you're a listener, you might already know, or maybe you've already done the research yourself. But just in case you're unfamiliar with how it works, they take all the money that's generated from streaming, put it into one pile, and then just divide it out by the artists that bring the top amount of streams to whatever platform it is. So most platforms use this. However, SoundCloud instead wants to pay the person that's actually bringing the people listening to the stream, which makes the most sense. It's the most fair way for it to be happening. And so Warner has agreed to that. So with them being the first label to kind of get on board with what SoundCloud is doing, it makes you wonder how many are going to be following.
Yeah. Hey, that famous verse, and it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. Who was that? I'm trying to think of that rock group. And it makes you wonder. Yeah, well, that phrase right there, that's the phrase to pay.
Yes,
oh my
indeed.
God.
All right, and a new proposal floated by the New South Wales Police would basically censor certain forms of hip hop in Australia. So the NSW police told the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age, quote, "We rely on the moderators of social media platforms to hold their own policies around violent content. However, the police will take action in relation to content that contains material inciting violence or criminal activity." And so they were basically spelling out drill music, which, if you're familiar, originated in Chicago, but it's been widespread everywhere, like many genres do. And so, yeah, it's being held under scrutiny. And so now they're going to be watching and doing, I guess, whatever it takes to try to censor that music if they feel that they don't agree with what it's putting out. So, I mean, this kind of goes back to what we were just saying, about the situation before. So, yeah, just to be aware of, what's the word you use, the climate that we're in right now. It's kind of sad with art being under attack, but at the same time, we got to kind of adapt to the reality.
Yep. And hey, that reality comes first, no matter what. The reality is always going to come first. And so, folks can be in dreamland or wherever they want to be, but reality check. It's a reality check. Don't overlook that.
Yep. All right, and Ticketmaster has acquired Thailand's Thai Ticket Major. And so the acquisition is basically intending to increase Live Nation's access to Thailand's live events industry, which they're saying is a strong market for touring Japanese and K-pop artists, including, all other major genres, music, sports, family fare, touring and musical theater. So basically they're expanding their footprint once again. So, something to be aware of, and especially if they're gambling with what they got going. If you're thinking about maybe touring, this might be a place to kind of check out if, things are growing so strong that Live Nation's throwing their money behind it to make sure that they can access more of the market. So hint, hint, there's a freebie.
Hint, hint. Don't miss out.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with more music industry news after this.
Okay.
Breezy Gipson on the Music Marvels radio show.
All right, and we're back with more music industry news. There's another Ticketmaster story here, but Bruce Springsteen fans were shocked when they went to go buy tickets for his upcoming concerts and found $4,000 to $5,000 floor seats, $569 fees, and all this other stuff, as Ticketmaster has decided to implement what they're calling dynamic pricing. So that and their verified fan system are promoted as what they're considering the best way to kind of derail ticket resale and allow the artist to profit from the market value of each seat instead of losing it all to scalpers. So, you know, it's been an issue in the industry for a while where, of course, you know, the scalpers buy up the tickets and then jack up the prices. But basically what it appears is that now Ticketmaster is just doing the scalping for themselves. So the most top tier artists, similar to Springsteen, most likely him included, earn a share of Ticketmaster's high ticket fees. So it's not necessarily something that an artist would have a problem with. So we'll see what will go forward with this. But can you imagine, you know, having to pay $5,000 for the seats and then having $569 fees on top of that? You know, that's just, it's wild. So yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Well, you know, to truth be told, about 3 years ago, the NFL, National Football League, they came up with a procedure with in certain cities for certain teams, and that fee wasn't $500. That fee was like $1,300.
Whoa.
And these were for the people who had previously been season ticket holders. So when that season's over, when you look at getting set for the following season next year, they're hitting you with those fees right then. Okay, wow. And so some cities like the fan base revolted, but other cities such as New York City, New York Giants, New York Jets, the income flow, it didn't bother them.
Wow.
Okay, I mean their income flow adapted right to that, so that exorbitant charge, it didn't even bother them at all. It still sold out after that anyway.
Whoa.
Okay, so what I mean, so the small guy, oh no, they can't go anymore. Yeah. But the big guy from the companies and corporations, they're still right in there. I mean, come on.
That sounds pretty reflective of our whole current situation here now. But yeah.
Yeah, and I just saw a news story a couple of days ago about a guy who in Atlanta who collects old concert posters. Okay, and he's been doing it for 20, 30 years. Okay, and so to see the number of concert flyers, I mean the big shot guys, the well-known performers, man, it $7 entry fee, ticket $8. Ticket $4. I'm serious. I mean, some of the well-known acts that we've spoken about right here on this show. Ticket $6. $5. Yeah. Okay. And they asked him what he's going to do with all those. He said he's going to try to just set up some kind of museum. And so, you know, when the masses, some people say they thought they were fake.
Wow.
And they're not fake. That's just how it used to be.
Man, good old days.
Yep, Fleetwood Mac, $4.
Wow. That's just amazing.
Yep.
Well, hey, if you want to keep some money in your pockets and still enjoy some live music, there is a way to do that. Now that Disney's Hulu and Live Nation have reached a deal to live stream certain music festivals through 2023. And so they're going to serve as the official television partner for Bonnaroo, Lollapalooza, and the Austin City Limits Music Festival in Texas. So it's going to keep going through this year and all the way through 2023. So, hey, if you got a Hulu subscription, then you don't have to worry about ticket fees and all that. So there's a heads up for you.
Yeah, big heads up, big heads up. And another big heads up is we got a lot of intelligent folks out there, okay? You keep it above ground and do the right thing, but you can use your intelligence to come up with some programs like this of your own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you and everybody else won't be falling to the pitfalls of this type of industry, because those makers out there, the makers are gonna make it. Okay, I'm talking about the cheese, the dollars, the profits, and fortunately, you come up with new stories every week that pinpoint that kind of thing. And so those companies, they're out for themselves. They're out for every dollar and cent they can make.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's individuals out there in our listening audience. You got the smarts. Keep it legit, but you can come up with something and do the same thing.
Yes, absolutely. All right, there's been a lot of buzz about Meta and the music industry over the past week or so. So, all three of these stories dropped within days of each other, just so you know. But first, Epidemic Sound decided to sue Meta for $142 million for rampant infringement, as they call it, of its music on Facebook and Instagram. So the recently filed suit seeks to stop the theft of music created by hundreds of musicians, songwriters, producers, and vocalists. The theft occurs knowingly, intentionally, and brazenly by Meta on its Facebook and Instagram and social media platforms on a daily basis. And so Epidemic Sound is tired of it, and they're going forth with the lawsuit. The second story is that Cobalt decided to pull 700,000 of its songs off of Facebook and Instagram. And so it said in a memo that it sent out to its staff and to its clients that they've worked diligently and in good faith to come to an agreement for a new license for Cobalt's repertoire with Meta, but fundamental differences didn't allow them to be able to continue that, because they said that they're looking for the customer's best interest. So they decided that they'd rather just pull it, but they're still open to working with Meta if they come to some more favorable terms. Now, this third part of the story is very, very interesting. Not really sure if it has anything to do with these other two stories, but now Meta has decided that Facebook will now directly share a portion of ad revenue with music rights holders and the users who generate content videos. So with them moving to a revenue share model, it means that creators who use licensed music and videos that are more than 60 seconds long, they'll get a 20% share of any ad revenue that's generated by that video. The remaining 80% will be split between music rights holders and Meta itself. So this is huge news. It's definitely a step in the right direction. With them starting with Facebook, you can't help but wonder if this is going to trickle over to Instagram at some point in the near future. We'll see, and once we know, we'll definitely make sure that you know.
Well, speaking of that, and Meta, there's the news story last night. Kim Kardashian and her younger sister, I think, I can't remember what her name is. But between the two of them, they got 600. Between the two of them, they got 600. I hope that came through 600 million followers. Okay, and so they sent a note though. They sent a note to they posted some still photographs, and they were like, okay, well, the powers that be, at Meta, Instagram, let's keep Instagram back like what it started at, which was still photographs, and instead of everything going video, because there's in other words, Instagram is just turning TikTok. Mm-hmm. So, keep Instagram separate from TikTok. TikTok's all videos. Keep a platform where, people like to look at still photos. Mm-hmm. And so, so the industry experts, they caught them off guard, And, but hey, man, when you're talking 600 million followers just between two people, I mean, they got a little bit of clout, but
Oh yeah.
but what they're saying though, right now Instagram just flowing right behind TikTok and just going total, trying their best to go total video to get the maximum dollar out of that. And so, it remains to be seen what happens.
Yeah, because if you notice, Meta has a tendency of taking what they were originally for, then basically duplicating their own version of some of the other popular apps. But anytime they do that, in order to get more people to use it, of course, they boost the engagement for those things, which encourages people to do that, which is actually what's moving Instagram away from it being what it originally was. I mean, we basically saw the same thing happen with Facebook as well. So, I mean, they've got a point. And I don't think I've ever publicly agreed with a Kardashian before. This makes me feel kind of weird, but yeah, great point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this is a great story. I mean, we've been talking about the purchases and mergers and all this other stuff going on, but one of the big ones that we tend to talk about a lot is Hypnosis Songs Fund. But this time, Harborview Equity, which was established in 2021, is led by a Black woman CEO. And so she focuses on global alternative asset management. And so they want to take different songs that they think would increase the diversity and have long-standing intellectual property value. And so once again, this echoes what we've been saying before about how when they're making these investments and these catalog purchases and publishing and all that, it's for the artists that have stuff that have stood the test of time, or basically just content that they believe will continue to resonate with people in the future. So shout out to Sharice Clark Soares for what she's doing. The company's headquartered in Newark, New Jersey. It's added more offices in Los Angeles, and most recently, it's acquired the catalogs of the rock band, the Hollywood Undead, multi-Grammy Award-winning duo Dre and Vidal, global superstar Luis Fonsi, and multi-platinum band Lady Antebellum, who goes by Lady A, which was somebody else's name before that, but I digress. And also they bought the catalog of country megastar Brad Paisley. So, they've been doing a lot. It's been 36 catalogs. Well, sorry, more than 36 catalogs to date. And they only opened 9 months ago. So, big things coming from Harborview Equity. And I feel like we'll probably be talking about them a lot more often, just like we do with Hypnosis Songs Fund.
Yeah, probably will. So that phrase I used a while back earlier today, maker's gonna make. Okay, so you get a group of people together, throw some ideas around, surround themselves with the proper type of knowledge and so on and so forth, and come up with something that is innovative and profit creating.
Yeah.
So we're all hey, I'm working on some stuff myself right now, but we're all trying to find that spot, because we can use others as not necessarily role models, but the business model, and take that business model and make some things happen.
Yep.
Financially.
Yeah. All right, and the last story for this week, the YouTube ad revenue rose just 5% in the second quarter. So it's a little bit lower than what Wall Street was banking on. Why is this important? You need to know about how ad revenue is doing, especially if you're a content creator on YouTube and you want a piece of that. So it's just kind of something to be aware of. So yeah, it only climbed 5% from the same period of last year. But yeah, it's been a significant slowdown considering the first quarter of the year, it was growing 14%. So that's a big drop off. Not really sure what the cause of that is just yet. But once again, the more we know, the more we'll let you know and make sure that we keep you informed.
Whoa, I mean, that's a huge drop off.
Big time.
Well, we'll see how and if they rebound. So just because you have a drop doesn't mean you throw the towel in.
That's
right?
true. That's so very true. You'll often experience setbacks, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with our guest for this week.
You're listening to Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson on the Music Marvels radio show on Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Denver, Colorado.
Oh yeah. Now this is the day right here. I am proud, I'm happy, I'm excited. I'm overjoyed even, because our special guest today is a young man who he's got quite a background, but guess what? The present is really strong with him because he helps a lot of people in a lot of different ways, helping people to achieve different things, different great things in their lives, get their thoughts together, get their actions together. And sometimes people kind of stray away a little bit or may not know what to do, but then once they hear this young man right here, suddenly things start coming back together, and he's an inspirer, and I can go on and on. So without any further ado, welcome to the Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson show, podcast is the one and only Willie Whitehead Jr., former NFL player. He's a coach, he's a motivator, and he's just got people just coming at him left and right, just wanting some of that good advice and things of that nature. Willie, how you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How you doing? Yes. Thank you, Breezy, for having me on. Thank you, Achickwitbeatz, man. This is awesome, man. We have to go back, man. I definitely thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So, we know your background, but there's some listeners from here to there that may not be aware of your background. We're global, we right around the neighborhood and everything, but we're also international and global. So give the peeps a little bit about your background and, who is Willie Whitehead Jr. Notice I said the junior now, okay? So we know what that means. And then share your background so they know just, what channel you're on.
Sure. Well, mostly my background, my career has been surrounded around football. I hail from a small town of a historic town, Tuskegee, Alabama. Kind of middle class family. One really poor middle class. Parents worked hard, strong father figure, and my goal was to, a dream was to play football. Really. And I was really an awkward kid. I just really wanted to I was really looking for like love and acceptance, I was one of those nerds with the, kind of pocket protected all. I just wanted to fit in. So I saw opportunity with playing football, and I didn't have that much athletic ability either. But what I did was I listened to what the coaches told me, whatever else I could pick up, and I just worked hard, after practice, before practice, whatever it took to be that football player, because I want to be loved and accepted. So I put in the work. I ended up not getting a scholarship offer in high school. I ended up deciding to walk on to Auburn University, which is a big feat in itself, any D1 school, especially Auburn. So that definitely wasn't easy. I didn't have no scholarship offers, so I ended up making a team after my first year because it was a process that I learned to really hone in my mind, my emotions, to really get mentally tough and develop habits that got me to making a team after my first year. And from that, I end up being an all-star at the conference at SEC, at Auburn. Then I ended up getting a workout with the 49ers. Didn't get drafted. and your name is called at the third day. So I ended up going up there. I got cut in mini camp. I didn't even get invited to training camp with the 49ers. And that was a big blow. I'm at home, I'm sad, I want to get a bottle of liquor and turn, during that time, I was hurting. So, because it's my dream. So I end up, the agent got me a deal with the Canadian Football League and a U.S. team called the Baltimore Stallions, because they were trying to get Canadian teams in the U.S. I went there, I worked hard before, after practice, followed this, the same process that I did in college, and still came up short and ended up being on practice squad. And so, I really didn't understand it, but I know the rules are different in Canada, but I didn't understand it. So I'm struggling up there, making about $200, a week, every 2 weeks, trying to make that last. And, McDonald's and cheap buffets, but I kept working hard, I just really set my mind to like, no matter what, I'm going to realize my dream. And so after the season with Baltimore, the team moved to Montreal in Canada. So started that season, I'm doing the same thing and really working hard, but then I end up coming up short again and being on practice squad. And at that point, I was just like, man, I'm done. I'm giving up. Forget this. Maybe this, it's not for me. But then when I'm at home working a 9 to 5, that dream is still in my mind. It's like I can't let it go. So I was like, I called my agent. I said, man, get me somewhere to play. I don't care. I can't give up. Right? I can't give up. I can't let go. So he got me up to another Canadian team with the Hamilton Ticats in Hamilton, Ontario. I went up there, and at this point, I changed my mindset and took it to an even higher level. I got like laser focused. I did some different things, and I ended up making CFL All-Star. Was second in league in sacks, and I was on fire. So after that, I got a contract with the Detroit Lions. So I'm excited. I'm like, oh man, I finally realized my dream. I'm about to play in the NFL. I get into camp. I'm doing well. I'm following the same process. And I get up to the last cut. I'm the last player cut before they select the team. And so at this point, I'm just like, man, am I wasting my time? Like, is this really for me? And at that point, when I went back to Canada, the New Orleans Saints called to bring me in for a workout. So I said, well, I'm going to give, I'm still, going to give everything I got. I got to change up the way I'm thinking, what I'm telling myself. So I ended up impressing the coaches. They signed me to a contract. They sent me over to NFL Europe to for a couple months to get trained. Came back and ended up playing well. My first year, made the team, and 8 years later, I had a very successful career. Got an NFL award, Ed Block Courage Award, awarded by my teammates. Down as one of the top players in Saints history. So it was awesome. Awesome. Had played with some great guys. Ended up playing an NFC Championship game, and now I work now as a coach. A mental toughness and mindset trainer. I work with a lot of athletes to help them to really build that resilience, to hone in their mind, their emotions, because with that game, with anything, it's really 80% mental more than anything, especially with sports. But I think with a lot of things, it's 80%, it's majority mental. So when you can hone in your mind and your emotions, then, the sky's the limit. And so that's what I work to teach, train guys to really hone that in, and to so they can realize their dreams. I have a course called Be a Pro Now, and I'm helping high school, middle school, college, and even pro guys hone in their mind and their emotions. A lot of mindfulness exercises, your breathing techniques, different things, and then also with my website, WillieWhiteheadJr.com. I do one-on-one group coaching, and I also do healing work. So it's a new thing I've been working with guys with too. They've been getting great results. So it's been a ride. It's been an experience, but it's been well worth it.
Oh my God! I want to say, man, I don't think nobody has ever come in busted into the show like that. I mean, as far as with a background and experiences like that, and you trying and getting let down and this, that, the other, and you let down again, and this, that, the other, and you still let down even more. I mean, a chick with people. I mean, look.
Yeah.
Fill in the gaps.
Yeah, no, exactly. What Breezy just said, and how you were talking about like the different experiences. Everybody in any type of creative or entertainment industry can understand, that struggle where you keep getting so close and then it just slips away again, and then you just keep trying. So yeah, for you to come in and share all those ups and downs with us, like, yeah. I mean, yeah, you just came in, kicked in the door with a lot of background.
Okay, and a lot of the things that you mentioned in that opening statement, oh my God, they can be applied to the music industry as well. I mean, there's a lot of folks that right now they need some Willie Whitehead Jr. because that focus, that attitude. I mean, so would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know a whole lot about the music industry, but I definitely agree that really getting that mental toughness, honing in your mind and emotions is powerful. And I'm a big proponent, even with like with manifestation, manifesting your dreams. Like you said, it's really getting honing in your energy, and like I said, anything is possible, but it's really, where's your mind at? Your mindset, as far as yeah.
Okay, so now you say WillieWhiteheadJr.com?
Yes, WillieWhiteheadJr.com.
Okay. So now, what if Bobby is saying, you know what? Wow, I really like what he said. That's really catching my attention. I mean, I'd like to reach out to him just to see. Okay, so whether you talk on the phone or you send in emails or whatever. Okay, what are some of the first things that you look for in Bobby or Mary? Okay, and then what are some of the first things that you feel that, I know everybody's different, but what are some of the initial things that you speak to them about or listen for?
Well, I really listen for the passion, to see if they're really serious. That's really the first thing. They let me know, I find and ask them, about, their outcomes, what it is that they want to achieve. But I really want to try to point out, really want to hear if they're really serious about realizing their dream. Is it something that they're just as a hobby? Is this something that they're really serious about doing? Because you have to be willing to really commit if you're really serious about it, and it takes a lot more work and energy that you have to put into it in order to realize it. So that's the first thing, just to see if they're really passionate about it, they're really serious, the reason why.
Well, in life, in business, and music and sports, there are a certain number of folks that the only reason they're out there is because of their friends. They want to impress their friends or this, that, the other, and they, when all the attention is gone, they're not doing anything at all to help themselves. But then when the attention comes and suddenly they're wanting to be that person in the spotlight. Okay, is that easy for you to pick out, for you to see? or does it take a little bit of getting underneath the level for you to determine that that person is not doing it for themselves? They're doing it because they just like the spotlight.
Well, it really takes a little bit more of digging, soul searching. I have an exercise called core beliefs exercise that I got from my training with neuro-linguistic programming, and to help really uncover if they're really serious, if this really is a passion for them, and to really uncover the layers. So that's one of the first exercises that I take my client through to really see if they're serious.
Okay, well, let us ask this: as far as your clients are concerned, what age bracket are they? Younger folks? Are they middle-aged? Are they people who are professionals? Or just share that with our listeners so they'll know where you're coming from.
Well, most of my clients really are from high school age on up, and I approach each age bracket differently. Like the way that I would work with a high school, of course, and a teenager would be different than an adult, because it's certain things that I would have to, questions I have to ask them, and certain things that I wouldn't do that I would do with an adult. So, that kind of varies, but it's all about getting the results.
Okay, well, we noticed that you got some initials behind your name. Can you share with our listeners what that alludes to? Is that from training yourself, or is that from taking specific courses to elevate, to a certain point where you can help folks like that?
Yes, Breezy, yeah. And so I got certified as a clinical hypnotherapist and a master NLP practitioner, and mindfulness, certified in mindfulness meditation. But the hypnotherapy is kind of, it's a funny story, because when I was playing for the Saints, I had an experience, where this gentleman came in to talk to us. He sat me down before the game, and I was desperate to perform well because we weren't winning any games. We were like 0-4 or something like that. So he sat me down. He said, "I want you to come up with 5 plays that you want to perform on Sunday." Now, mind you, this was Tuesday. Perform on Sunday, and he said, "I want you to say it with emotion. Like, I'm getting off the ball faster than anybody. I'm beating my opponent with this move. I can't be stopped. I can't be blocked." Right? So 5 sentences. So he said, now, and he recorded it. So he said, "I want you to listen to this every day leading up to the game and watch what happens." At the time, I was a skeptic. I was like, "Man, this is some bull." But when you're desperate for results, you'll almost try anything, right? You're like, "Man, I gotta make some money. I gotta get results." So I listened to it. So I listened to it like twice a day. He's like twice a day. So when I'm resting. So I listened to it. Come game time, my mind was in a different zone. I was very confident and relaxed, and I had the best game of my career. And then after the game, yes, I made like NFL honors. And after the game, when I listened back at that tape, listen back at that tape, every play that was recorded was exactly what I performed on the field. It blew my mind. I'm like, "Oh my God." It's just how powerful the programming the mind is. So that's why I got into learning hypnotherapy, because I was like, man, like how can this apply to other aspects of people's lives? Because it's really about how can you program your own mind for success, and your emotions. Like, how powerful is that? So that's why I really got into that, field of like mental toughness, manifesting your desires, all that stuff, and just read tons of books, and just really got honed in.
Okay, so now musicians, they're coming from, and Achickwitbeatz, she'll agree with this. They're coming from all kinds of directions. Okay. And they're just like other people. They need certain types of mental strengthening, certain types of hey, sit down and inspect themselves. I guess you would inspect them the way they should be inspecting themselves, or I really can't tell, but with that industry, okay, being in entertainment, I'm sure that you probably could crack open a couple of books and you see the same thing in the music industry as you would in any other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And it's a lot of some similar issues, that athletes go through, is similar to what entertainers go through. Just from my experience and things that I've noticed that, and I know it's a lot different, as far as the entertainment industry, but everybody has a story, that they live by, at the core of it, and the thing is your story adding life to your dream? Is your story leading you towards your dream, or is it hindering you from realizing your dream? A story of, well, I don't know if I'm good enough, or what my father, mother told me back in the day, or what I've been conditioned to believe as a child, where I'm supposed to be in my career right now. I'm supposed to be an instant success by now. We all live by these different stories, but people, when you understand that your story can be changed, because it's a story that you've made up, a story that's been conditioned in your own mind. The story can be changed up, and when that story, sometimes when that story is changed up, it could help propel you towards closer and closer towards you realizing your dream, of being that great artist. But like you said, yeah, and that's a big part of it.
Well, I've got to apologize because I'm so built up over this interview. I didn't leave as much space in there for Chick with Beats to have ask her questions as I should have, so I apologize for that. But Chick with Beats, you got some.
No, this has been great. I mean, he's already touched on things that I would have asked already. So yeah, I mean, this has just been awesome. Been great to sit back and absorb.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay, so again, that's your website is WillieWatkinsJr.com.
Oh no, well, WillieWhiteheadJr.com.
Okay, Willie.
Yeah.
I was drifting.
Oh
okay,
no, not the Willie Watkins now. That's a funeral home guy.
Right. Willie, that's a total different thing.
Different thing. Yeah.
Oh, But Willie WhiteheadJr.com.
Yeah. And then too, Breezy, with the people are unfamiliar even with the energy work that I do as far the healing work, but I've got, and that's something that was end up realizing was like a natural gift for me, that I recently realized, a couple years ago. And I've studied up on that and learned about, how energy works and metaphysics and even, certified, in that modality and Reiki and all that stuff. But that plays even a big part, because it's at the end of the day, your thoughts and your emotions is all energy, so when you can really fine tune that in every aspect, then you get your mind, body, and spirit in alignment, and it's like I said, there's a lot that you can accomplish, and just seeing yourself being the person that you desire to be. Acting as if you're that great artist that you want to be. How can you hone in a thought, hone in the energy, emotions, and then put in, consistently put it in the work. And then what does that look like? And I have a whole process that I've used, and I help my clients to help them to really organize that process, so they can, in that time, so they can get, really gain, really gain progress with,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, look, the clock is really staring us in the face, and we're
Oh.
going to have to close out this edition. But what I'm hearing is that there's going to be a chapter 2, chapter 3, maybe, in this series of interviews, because you've got a lot to share with musicians, whether they're aspiring musicians or whether they're seasoned or professional. Mm-hmm. And so let's go ahead and close out. And again, please accept my apologies. That website is WillieWhiteheadJr.com. And folks, for those wherever you are, doesn't matter who, whatever age, reach out through the website, connect with this great man, and see what you can make happen for yourself in your life. And so, Willie, we want to have you back sometime. Achickwitbeatz Beats?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely. I appreciate it. Oh, and my Instagram is the same as Willie Whitehead Jr. So I know there's a lot of people that's on IG right now. We got a TikTok. So
okay.
All right.
Yes,
well, let's do that. And so thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Willie Whitehead Jr. Find him at his website, WillieWhiteheadJr.com.
All right. And that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We're glad that you joined us and tuned in. We always have a great time rocking with you, right, Breeze?
Oh yeah, always have a great time. And as I alluded to at the beginning of the show, make sure you partake of Achickwitbeatz.com, because there's a whole galaxy directory of beats, of info, of services, of just things you need to data you need to absorb that can help you in your quest. In your business quest as well as your music quest. So check that out. Global, doesn't matter where you're located at. Could be around the corner, could be around on the other side of the globe, of the world. So check it out, Achickwitbeatz.com, and check me out at breezetocheese.com. Okay, breezetocheese.com. See what you got in there. So, but it's really been real this week, and looking forward to next week as well. So that's my spiel, and I'm sticking to it.
Most definitely. Awesome. And so thank you to our home stations, Grander Radio, broadcasting out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio, broadcasting out of Denver, Colorado. You know where to find us next time. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.